You coming? What's up, guys? My name is Travis Mitchell. Welcome to the channel. I've never made a YouTube video before, so this is a little weird talking to a camera. I've got a 2014 Scion FRS, and as you can tell, the motor's out of it. And I've got it pretty much put together. We've just been waiting on parts, and I just had one of them show up today. Been waiting on an upper oil pan because the one that I had was pretty dinged up. So we're gonna get that put on, and then after we put that on, we put the timing chain cover on. Got to finish cleaning that up before we put it on. And once those are on, we can move on to like motor mounts, coolant lines, probably start putting pulleys on and whatnot. I'm waiting on some other things to really get this thing dressed up and ready to throw into the car. We got a JDL Turbo Kit coming in with the GT3076. That's gonna have the oil pan with it, so I don't want to put the oil pan on when the motor is actually in the car. It just sounds like a pain in the ass. So let's unbox this, get this put together, thrown on, and then move on to the timing chain. So that's a new one, obviously. Super shiny. Very nice. That's the old one. We're gonna take some parts off this little catch right here. Do you believe? Oh, yeah, we're gonna take that off. Transfer that over. I do have studs right here, so don't need to take those off. There's a couple different things. I think that's it. I think it's just this catch. Can't remember exactly what that is. It's a sensor of some kind. And then I think we're good on everything else. So I'm gonna work on getting those things off and transfer them over to the new upper oil pan. And then we'll turn the motor over and clean that off with some brake clean. Get that prepped. Slap some of this 1217H Subaru silicone, I don't know, it's expensive fucking RTV, on there. Get the bolts ready, and then we'll torque them down, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. All right, so I just got done taking this little plate off, the old one, and I went to work on this nut right here, and it's just an absolute pain in the ass. You can kind of see that. I squirted up a little bit. I don't have anything that size to take it off, and so I was doing some research because I don't remember anything plugging into it, and it's just, I believe it's just like a coolant heater. I don't remember anything being plugged into it. The new one came blocked off, so I don't think that I even need it. I'm not gonna worry about it right now. I'm gonna actually keep it off, put this little plate in, and then put the new studs in, and then do a little bit more research, and if I do need it, or if I do find a harness for it, then I might just buy a new one and put it on, just because that one's kind of old and gross looking anyway, and everything's looking kind of shiny and new. So we're gonna go ahead and just put this plate on, and then put those studs on, and then we'll turn the block over, or the motor over, and actually install it onto the car, or onto the motor. So that's where we're at. All right, so upper oil pan's installed. It's freaking hot out here, you can tell I'm sweating. Got the upper oil pan installed. Kind of ran into a couple of speed bumps. I'm not gonna get anything more done today. I only had a couple hours. Just got home from work when I started on this. So the new hardware I bought to mount the tranny or the motor to the tranny, the studs were a little bit too long, so they weren't actually gonna work. The spec, Subaru calls out for, they want the bolt to stick about 2 3/4 inch out from the mating surface on the upper oil pan. So I didn't think it'd be that big of a deal, but I took some measurements on the tranny and the depth that it's gonna have to push through and how much thread's gonna be sticking out, and it just wasn't gonna work out. So the old ones came off pretty good. You guys saw me take those out and put the new one, or put them in the new upper pan. Other than that, I did mention this part. You can see it's blocked off. I think that's where the coolant heater goes. I know a lot of, I guess after looking it up, a lot of the FA20s came with that option, or you can take the plug out and add it. This motor particularly came with it, but I don't remember a harness being hooked up to it or pulling one off when I pulled the motor. So I'm gonna do a little bit more research, talk to a couple guys and see if I really need it. I don't think I'm going to. It's not a daily driver. I mean, I live in Oregon, so it does get pretty cold in the winter, but I'm probably not gonna be driving around a lot. And if I do, it's just gonna be a weekend warrior, so I'll let it warm up a little bit before I take it out. But this is what it looks like. Not really anything special. Once it cures, or the RTV cures, we're gonna have to take all that off on the mating surfaces where the timing chain cover is gonna go on. But we'll get to that in a couple days. Try to keep everything really clean while you put all the mating surfaces down with brake cleaner. Torque these down. I believe this torque spec was 13.3 pounds. I probably went a little bit tighter, which, I mean, I don't really think that's a bad thing. I really don't want this thing to leak. So that's gonna be it for today. Next video, we'll probably put this timing chain cover on, put the motor mounts on, and start putting some of the coolant piping and whatnot on. Maybe some of the pulleys, water pump. Got a number of things that we can do until the turbo kit comes in with the oil pan, slap that on, and then we'll be ready to put this thing into the car. So got a lot of parts coming. Once those come in, get a lot more content for you guys. Until then, see you next time.